Because if you go to a discussion on the economy, he has no answer. And he can do nothing about it. He can say nothing on the economy. But if you give him Rigathi Gachagua to discuss, he will have a lot to say about Rigathi Gachagua because they share history. They were together at some point. He will try to lie to explain their fallout. None of us was there to verify who is saying the truth or who is lying. That is what he prefers. Given a choice between a collapsing economy, where they'll be caught pants down, and discussing Gachagua, the lesser evil for him is to discuss Gachagua, not the economy. But the Kenyan people must bring him back to discuss the economy. Why is this economy not reviving? Why is it tanking every day? What is causing this? Why is debt our single largest expenditure item of our budget books? That's the kind of a conversation that the Kenyan people want. He doesn't want that kind of a conversation. It's uncomfortable. Why Ruto was in Nyanza, he's gone to the coast, he's been here in Nairobi. We didn't see him doing the pre-tour press briefing. Only when he goes to the mountain, he does the pre-tour press briefings. Why? Because he's trying to talk to the people and try to convince them. He understands the potency of that vote and the role it played in his election. So he's trying to appease the people. But if you listen to what Ruto was saying, all that came out was he's throwing jabs at Gachagua and Gachagua responding. And unfortunately, the media entertained that nonsense. Because I do believe that the turmoil in the mountain is not caused by Gachagua. The turmoil in the mountain is caused by the failing economy. The people of Kenya have unanimously decided that this regime has failed in terms of its economic policy, its social programs. If you look at Shift Share, look at university funding model, look at CBC. People are suffering in hospital. University students have not been able to report. Look at the state of joblessness in the country. Look at the economy. Many people cannot access money in their pocket. People are struggling to make a living, to earn, even for the day. The state of our joblessness is worrying. Many young people don't have jobs, and they're desperate. There's no hope. Then he spends, one hour trying to talk to the mountaineers. And all it's about, Gachagua asked for this, this happened, 27 votes, 5 votes. No one cares about those things. People are not leaving William Ruto because of his fallout with Gachagua. People left William Ruto because of his failure in the management of the economy. And is the economy stupid? I mean, the people bolted even when Gachagua was still deputy president. On the 25th of June, when Parliament was being breached, the climax of the turmoil, Gachagua was deputy president. In fact, the run-up to the protest and the passage of the finance bill, Gachagua had said somewhere that if members of Parliament should quickly pass that finance bill, and any of them who doesn't pass it will not get barabara in their constituencies. So at the time, Gachagua was a regime sympathizer. The regime came back and ate him. So the turmoil was there even when Gachagua was still deputy president. He is not the cause of the turmoil. He's not the one who led people out. People already out. He merely joined them after his impeachment. And everybody's done with the Ruto. The whole country is done with him. That is why he has to go to Nyanza and look for Raila to give him support. Because he knows the people are done with him. He now has some semblance of life by getting Raila. Now he may get some little sympathies from the Raila bastions. But that doesn't mean that he's got it. They were done with him. It's the whole country, not just the mountain. Only that for some parts of the country that Raila seemed to be the leading voice, by getting Raila, he's pacified them to an extent, but not to a full extent. There are still many regions which Raila traditionally gets support that are not boarding this broad-based nonsense. They exist, and in their numbers. I talk to people. I interact with them in their communities. Many people are not happy with William Ruto's economic policies. And they've rejected him. Look at Kisii. Go to the coast. Go to here in Nairobi. Almost 55% of his votes came from that region.
Yes.
Yeah. That was his stronghold. So, the rest is relying on someone else, third parties. to do the trading. But this was his stronghold. They voted for him directly.
So this was his stronghold.
And now he has lost it.
And now he has lost
so
it.
he must plead twice as hard as he will plead for other regions. Because for other regions, at least he will try, he thinks that Raila will convince them on his behalf. Tall order. But he hopes he will do it. For Mountain, the support was to him. They've abandoned him. So he must work twice as hard as a person, because he has nobody who is going to midwife those votes to him. And I've told you, almost 55% of his votes came from that region. So, hence the need. You cannot ignore the potency of the votes from the Mountain. And for him, who is sitting there, who is a beneficiary of that vote before, he understands the potency of that vote. So he must work twice as hard. And anybody in politics, I'm sorry, anybody who is doing political calculations without factoring that vote, you are deluding yourself. You must factor it in any political calculations, if people are going to vote along tribal lines. But what I get my comfort in is that Kenyans have moved beyond tribe. It's an issue. The Mountain did not leave William Ruto because of tribes. They left him because of his economic policies. Just like the rest of Kenya. They are not happy with William Ruto because of the state of our economy. It's the economy stupid, and I'll keep happening it. And that is what Safina Party we represent. It is time for economic liberation of this nation. Look at the images that were coming out of Kenya, including the Mt.Kenya region, in the run-up to the voting of the finance bill. Part of those images was a member of parliament from Molo, South, being burnt and being stoned by his neighbors. Part of those images was the CDF officers for Ichungwa almost being burnt, torched. Part of those images, you will see the people of Laikipia occupying the women rep's office, threatening to burn it. Gachagua was with Ruto at the time. But you are seeing the turmoil in the Mountain and the rest of the country. So you should ask yourself, why were people acting with so much anger when Gachagua, who now you claim is their leader, was in the government? They were acting against his administration. He was part of that administration. So it tells you the issue was the economy. It was not personality. Ruto is trying to turn it to be personality. He's trying to make it about him and Gachagua. That is his plan of trying to hoodwink the Mountain back. That the problem was Gachagua, not me. Your turmoil, your pricing is because of Gachagua. So he's trying to explain himself to them why Gachagua was impeached and how he was not involved. Because he lacks that kind of conversation. Because now it is reduced to personality, not the issue which is unable to address. And the issue is the economy. As I've told you, on the 25th of June, Gachagua was deputy president to Ruto. And people in the Mountain and the rest of the country were up in arms. If it was the love for Gachagua, people would have stayed at home because he was holding the office. But it was the economy. And I do believe it is still the economy. Go to any gathering where two or more are gathered as Kenyans. Somewhere in that conversation, the issue of the economy will come up and how the economy is doing badly. He understands, but he hopes to hoodwink and turn the people away from the real issue, to be a personality contest between him and Gachagua. That is what he wants. Because if it's a contestation between him and Gachagua, then he has a fighting chance. That's what he wants. So he'll be campaigning on Gachagua is bad, Ruto is bad. That becomes the campaign. But if it is the economy, everybody owns the economy in their pocket. Because he has no solution to the economic problems. In fact, he's the one who is perpetuating the problem. He doesn't want it. Who is taking illegal debts here? Odious debts. I told you in February, they collected 152 billion. They paid as debt 156 billion. Went to the market and borrowed 148 billion in the same month. Without parliamentary approval, without any project that money was going to be used. Who is doing it? It's him. Him, Badi, the guy in the PS Treasury, Kipto, and the guy at Central Bank, Tuge. They're the ones who hold the responsibility. He doesn't want that kind of a conversation. And how much have they accumulated as illegal debts? that they have to come back to the people of Kenya to raise your taxes, to pay those odious debts. Where did the money go? Did I want that kind of conversation? Because if you go to a discussion on the economy, he has no answer, and he can do nothing about it. He can say nothing on the economy. But if you give him Rigathi Gachagua to discuss, he will have a lot to say about Rigathi Gachagua because they share history. They were together at some point. He will try to lie to explain their fallout. None of us was there to verify who is saying the truth or who is lying. That is what he prefers. Given a choice between a collapsing economy, where they'll be caught pants down, and discussing Gachagua, the lesser evil for him is to discuss Gachagua, not the economy. But the Kenyan people must bring him back to discuss the economy. Why is this economy not reviving? Why is it tanking every day? What is causing this? Why is debt our single largest expenditure item of our budget books? That's the kind of a conversation that the Kenyan people want. He doesn't want that kind of a conversation. It's uncomfortable. Why is he spending so much money to renovate State House when people don't have quality health care, when kids are out of school? Why are the university students not being given their commensurate funding to go to school? He doesn't want that kind of a conversation. He prefers the Gachagua said, Gachagua did. That one is very comfortable with. Because there's no means of verifying. But if we talk about money, we'll ask him, this was the expenditure item. You borrowed this much. Show us which road it built. Show us which bridge. Tell us where this money is going to renovate State House. What is a priority to spend all that money to renovate State House when our hospitals are not working? That's an uncomfortable conversation because we can verify. If you told us you took this debt to build a road, we can go to the road and see it. But if he tells us Gachagua did this or said this, were you there when he said it? You are not there. How will you verify? So it becomes his word against Gachagua's word. He loves that kind of a conversation. As I said, it gives him a fighting chance. But on this other one, he will fall flat